Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Priyanka's Education Videos. So today's topic is major group of microorganisms. The major group of microorganisms include viruses, bacteria, archaea, fungi and protists. So let's get into the first one, that is viruses. So these are the smallest microorganisms measuring about 5 to 300 nanometer. So isn't it surprising, guys, that in spite of being so small, they are able to create a great havoc throughout the world presently. They have taken many lives since a year. So coming back, they live as parasites, that is, they depend upon host cell machinery in order to reproduce or in order to replicate itself. They have to depend, they cannot be uh, they are equal to a non-living particle when they are outside the host cell, but once they enter into the host cell, they completely take over the host cell machinery and utilize for itself in order to synthesize its own particles or synthesize its own parts and again divide into many parts of its own. They replicate and synthesize many more viral particles when they are released from the host cell. That is why they are considered as parasitic in nature. That is, they are completely dependent upon the host cell machinery for their survival. So the genome is either DNA or RNA, and they are acellular. So the viral structure looks something like this, comprised of envelope proteins, envelope, capsid, which is a protein coat, enzymes which are utilized for the synthesis of new viral particles, and the viral genome that can be either DNA or RNA. They can infect, they have the potency to infect almost all life forms existing on earth, that is plants, animals, human beings and also even bacteria. Yes, it is true that they are able to even infect the bacteria, and because of this ability to infect the bacterial cells and lyse them, these viral particles have also been utilized in treating certain bacterial infections. So Dmitry Ivanovsky is the scientist who discovered these creatures smaller than bacteria. Examples of which are influenza virus, poliovirus, rotavirus. Next is bacteria. So these are the single-celled microbes measuring about 0.5 to 5 micrometers in length. So bacteria are considered to be the first life forms to appear on Earth and are almost found in every habitat. Antony van Leeuwenhoek is the scientist who first observed bacteria in the year 1676 and has given the name of animalcules to them. Okay, he's the person, Antony van Leeuwenhoek is the person behind the discovery of the bacterial cells and naming them as animalcules. This is one of the important question you can consider, the scientist behind and the name given to the bacterial cells, animalcules. Okay, I hope it's clear. And their cellular organization is very simple. they do not contain any membrane bound organelles. Okay, the bacterial cells, when we consider the cellular organization, it has got a very simple organization without any complexity, because they do not contain any kind of cell membrane or membrane bound organelles are absent in the bacterial cells. So that is the reason why they are considered as prokaryotes. They are prokaryotic cells. Okay, coming to the structure, this is the basic structure of a bacterial cell, comprising of cell wall, cell membrane, flagellum, which is a locomotory organ, and the ribosome, chromosome, or the genome you can call, and the cytoplasm. Okay, so this is the basic structure of the bacterial cell, which is being given here. So their genetic information is also, like, it is localized in a single loop of DNA. So that loop of DNA consists of all the information required to carry out the cellular activities. So the complete cellular activities are controlled by the single loop of DNA. The complete genetic information is present in that single loop, which is present in a scattered way. If you remember the diagram, it is present in the scattered way. So that loop of DNA is controlling whole of the cellular activities, the functions, the structural and functional activities will be controlled by the single loop of DNA. Okay, now again, one more speciality is that these few of the bacterial cells they also have got an additional circle of genetic material, which is called as plasmid. So again, this is one of the important question or the important objective to be considered, that an additional circle of genetic material is possessed called plasmid, which confers the property of antibiotic resistance. So in whichsoever bacteria this particular plasmid is existing, a certain antibacterial, I mean the antibiotic resistance will be conferred to that particular uh, bacteria because of the presence of this extra genetic material, which is called as plasmid. Few bacteria are parasites or pathogens. As we all know that bacteria cause several kind of infections and diseases, so that which are able to infect plants, animals, human beings. Examples of which are Escherichia coli, Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, Pseudomonas. These are the few examples of bacteria which I have quoted. Now the next is Archaebacteria. So these are the life forms which existed before the evolution of bacteria, we can say. The present bacteria or the eubacteria have evolved from the Archaebacteria. These are the life forms which existed before the bacteria. So these are the most primitive life forms that existed on the earth. Okay, archaeans are the microorganisms which are similar to, almost they are similar to bacteria, but they are evolutionarily different. They are also considered as the oldest living organisms on earth. As I already told you that they were present, they were existing even before the bacteria. So Carl Richard Woese, an American microbiologist and a biophysicist, is the person who discovered archaeans. So they are called as extremophiles. Okay, why they are called as extremophiles is because they resist certain extreme conditions of temperature, pressures, and alkalinity, acidity. So even they can resist all these extreme conditions of the atmosphere or nature. So that is why they have been called as extremophiles. They are also considered as ecologically very helpful organisms. And when considering the bacteria, when we want to differentiate the bacterial cell or the archaebacteria from that of bacteria, they differ in terms of their cell wall composition. So coming to the structure of the archaebacteria, they are almost similar to the bacterial cell, if you can see and compare the previous diagram of bacteria which I have already shown to you. So the structurally they are almost similar to the bacterial cell, with few differences in their cell wall composition and also the ribosomal units, in terms of the ribosomal units. So far, none of the archaeans have been found to cause any disease in spite of having the great antibiotic resistance. They are found to show a very great resistance or the ability to resist various kinds of antibiotics, but still we can consider these archaeans as good bacteria because they have not been found to cause any kind of diseases. So examples of which are Aeropyrum pernix, Thermosphaera aggregans, Sulfolobus tocodi, Staphylothermus marinus. So the next is fungi. Fungi come under eukaryotic microorganisms, which means they have got a very good cellular organization. That means they are consisting of membrane bound organelles. They have got a distinct nucleus inside their cells. So these includes yeast, molds and mushrooms. They are non-vascular. They are almost present in every habitat wherever you find moisture and organic matter, and they can be single celled or also can be very complex multicellular organism. And Berger Rasmussen, a geologist, is the person who discovered fungi, and that too accidentally. So this is the electron micrograph of the fungi. It looks something like this. Few fungi are also found to cause diseases in humans, plants and animals. Okay, uh, sorry. The examples of which are Penicillium, Aspergillus, Rhizopus and Saccharomyces. Next is the protists. These are the simple, predominantly unicellular eukaryotic microorganisms, and these are considered as any organisms which are not plants, animals or fungus. They can be heterotrophic or autotrophic in nature. Anthony van Leeuwenhoek is given the credit of first finding these creatures. So this is the structural representation of one of the protists, examples of the protists. Ernst Haeckel is the scientist who coined the term protista and included these as separate group of microorganisms. So example of which are amoeba, paramecium, euglena and plasmodium. So this is it all about the major group of microorganisms, and I have just briefed a brief of all the variety of microorganisms. So again, if you want to learn into detail, again it is a very big and vast subject to understand. So I hope this video is clear. Thank you.